This is MMA UK and we are live on Facebook. Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm joined by 5 amazing guests this week about a topic that's been all over the news. So I'd like to introduce you to Pierre Noah, Jermaine Facey, Chris Otakito, Lee Russell, and Patrick Hutchinson. And as ever, I'm joined by my co-host, Peter Knox, who's going to tell you about our amazing sponsor, Fight Fuel.
Hi Katie, hi guys. Right, so the MMA UK Late Show is sponsored by Fight Fuel. Fight Fuel is a supplement and clothing company founded by martial artists, for martial artists and all combat sport athletes. The aim of the company is to supply supplements and clothing of the highest standard to all fighters and warriors who can train, perform and win.
So guys, welcome to the show. It's amazing that Dan Overheady got in touch with me about this, because Peter and I had been discussing doing a show on this topic and we weren't sure where we wanted to go with it. And then I got a call from Dan Overheady saying that he knew you guys and would I be interested in doing an interview with you. And of course, like, we were very eager to do it. So I want to hear about it in your own words. What happened when you went to the protest last week? Why you went and what unfolded?
Go on, Pierre.
Yeah, can you hear me? All right.
Yeah.
Good. Hello, everyone. Well, it's just one of those things that you know that happen, and everyone that knows me, I'm quite passionate with life, put it that way. So after seeing what was happening over the last protest, I just became very upset the way that I saw how the kids were being handled, and the whole thing was just, the whole set was just a mess. And I couldn't believe that it was happening here, in my hometown, London, my hometown. Brought back memories when I was young, when we had a conflict in Trafalgar Square when I was about 17 or 18 with I think there was a few football hooligans, and the police was there. So I got worried for the youth, and the reason why I got worried, I got 3 sons, 21, 17, and 11. And I coach quite a lot of kids with martial art, football, rugby. So I'm involved with a lot of, bringing up the youth around in my community. So he upset me, and I was getting worried. I was thinking, we need to do something about it. So I reached out to a few of my colleagues to say, listen, we need to find a way of trying to go up there and protect our community while they're protesting. The reason why I was doing that, I'm in security, so it made sense to get a couple of guys to go up there and make sure that people protesting around, obviously help the police as well at the same time. And then what made first was when obviously there was a message that was sent out, got all the kids kind of paranoid, saying that, look, stop fighting, stop distressing the statues. And a lot of the youth took it wrong. I think it just started to get out of hand, and I'm panicking. I couldn't sleep. I was worried. I was worried for everyone. Not just my sons, not just the youth that I train, just everyone in general that is going to kick off. So anyway, I managed to get a few of my guys involved to go up there, basically just see what we can do, help out.
Yeah.
Patrick came, Jermaine was there, Lee and Chris. So we went up there and. Listen, I think that's basically what we did is just the reason why I wasn't comfortable all week. I knew something bad was going to happen. I mean, don't get me wrong, we didn't save every situation, but obviously that was one of the moments that could have really got out of hand. And just thank God that we were there at the right time to just, and literally we saw it happening. I saw it happening, and I was like, boys, listen, we got to do something about this. We can't just stand here and watch this man. He was on his own. And I don't know, but at the end they just didn't look good. And doing the job that I do, I had to do something about it. I had to react. I had to go in there and get involved and do something. And everyone did the same thing. this, you know, thank God we did that. This is it.
So how did you decide on you group of guys going together? How do you all know each other, and how did you agree to go up there and try and be guardian angels? I've seen you called.
Well, I mean, the thing was, there was a lot of groups that were going up there, and I was trying to explain to everyone that, listen, I'm going up there to be security, to look after, to make sure that there's no problem, you know, black, white, Chinese, whoever it is. I don't want no problems. I don't want it to kick off, not for my, you know, for the children's sake, and obviously the women that were there protesting. So that's my purpose. I spoke to Pat about it. Pat knows me. Pat, I grew up with Patrick. I was on his case about it. I said, listen, mate, you're coming with me. I kept on bugging him. I rang Chris. I've done the same with Chris. Lee, I only just met Lee, believe it or not. But he's like my little, that's it. He's my little brother now. He will never leave me. Seriously, I love him because he was like ready. Yes, yes, bro, I'm ready. Yes, he was ready to come. So a lot of the other guys, a lot of the other guys I was working, they were saying that they were busy and everything else. So I said, okay, cool, no problem. But as I said, you know, thank God that there was enough of us to go up there. Jermaine, he has his own story. He was ready. He was doing that journey already because he'd been up there and seen all the madness. So it was just when I saw him saying our message on Instagram, I thought, oh, great. Let me ring Jermaine, because me and Jermaine, we worked together on security work anyway. So I rang and said, listen, bro, sorry, I forgot about you. I'll be up there and we're going to go. And that was it. It was just, it was a blessing, seriously, you know.
Is that how you connected with each other, on social media?
Well, me and Jermaine, yeah, social media, but Patrick, we train together. We, you know, I run a martial arts school, you know, but he comes down there. Chris as well, I train with him because he trains at another academy. I know everyone there, so we all kind of mix together. Lee's the only one I only met on the day, and obviously, and we just connected. That's it.
Yeah.
We just saved someone. Listen, not just one person's life. It's just literally, it could have been a mess for everyone. So
yeah,
I'm just grateful we done that.
And Lee, I read in one news report that you said, like, it wasn't just about saving that guy, it was also about, you know, protecting the people who could screw up their lives if they, you know, had hurt him.
Yeah, of course. The headlines would have been completely different if that guy would have died or got injured. It was like at least 50 guys onto him, and their lives would have been ruined. And as well as that guy would have been dead, their lives would have been ruined with life sentences in prison. So yeah, it would have been very different.
And it's such an iconic photo, and it's such an amazing image. Like, I mean, not just the photo, like you guys all around as well, working as a team. It's just amazing. And Chris, I think you said your mum like is in tears every time she sees you on the news, being, you know, lauded as the hero that you were.
Patrick,
I think Pat's.
Sorry, Patrick.
Pat's story of his tour.
Yeah. Hi, Katie. Yeah, my mum can barely look at me without crying. Like, it's quite emotional every time I see her. She just overrun with joy, happiness, and just overflowing with love. You know, so yeah. But yeah, it was a day to remember. And like Pierre says, had he not, you know, like twisted my arm, you know, I was basically, I've said the story quite a few times now. I was looking after my grandchildren. I have 4 grandchildren. I was looking after 2 of them, and I wasn't planning on going anywhere that day. But once Pierre once he's got the bee in his bonnet, there's just no saying no to him. So you just have to, you just have to go with the flow, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for one thing, you do not look old enough to be a grandfather.
Oh, thank you.
But secondly, you guys are all dads, aren't you?
Yeah.
So I've seen like your little hashtags or your strapline or whatever, the United to Change and Inspire and Fathers for Change. Like, that's such a positive message. Like, the news at the moment, not just about this situation, but about coronavirus and about everything that's going on in the world, in the US and here, like is so negative. And I think it's so powerful to have that image as a symbol of positivity and hope. And like, I just think it's amazing that you guys didn't just help on that day. You want to use that as a platform to kind of spread your message.
Definitely.
I think
Yeah,
Pat's
Chris.
sister's in the comments, sorry, Pauline Hutchinson, she's saying that she's proud of you all.
Oh yeah, that's my sister. Hi sis.
Your families must be so proud of all of you, but they must have actually been really nervous of you going up there as well.
Yeah.
Most of them didn't know.
Well, I'll be honest with you. This is the first time. Sorry, this is the first time my missus is always worried about when I'm, you know, even when I'm going to work or whatever. I mean, not worried, but this was the first time that I just felt something like she was like, you okay? Who you meeting? I said, I'm meeting Pat. She goes, okay, guys, you lot just make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. Normally she's like, where you going? You're not going. But for some reason, it's like she just felt like, you know, I wasn't just going to mess around or whatever. I was going because she see me all week, panicking, walking up, resting. So I can't believe. I just hope nothing goes bad when next March is on or whatever. I need to get guys together. I need to get someone together. So she's seen me all 3 weeks, just panicking, worrying about the whole thing, trying to get a team of guys to go up there. Chris knows the amount of time I was ringing him, I'm just checking up on him, making sure, and he was ringing me, saying, okay, no problem. P, when you're ready, I'm ready when you're ready. So, you know, but it was a weird one. As I said, my missus, she was cool. And, you know, I see her as she's like my angel. So definitely she knew I was going to do something good on the day. That's why she was so cool about the whole thing.
Yeah. And like, as I said, your strapline is united to change and inspire. What exactly is it that you want to change? What is the change you want to see in the world?
I'll let Chris answer that. We're all speaking the same time, so I'll let someone else have a talk. Chris. Or maybe not.
We've lost his audio
Pat,
for a minute.
Pat, do you want to go? Do you want to?
Chris, if you leave,
Mr.
come back
Facey.
in.
Or Jermaine?
Mr. Facey hasn't said anything yet.
You know, another team. Can you hear me?
Okay, well.
Oh, we've got your sound back now, Chris, I think.
Oh,
Good.
man.
No, he's gone again.
And you know, this is the funniest thing because Chris and Jermaine, they're the out of us three, they're the biggest
talk,
talkers.
bro. What are you talking about? I'm here.
What talk then?
What was the question?
I was just saying, so your strapline is united to change and inspire. What is the change that you want to make?
Well, the change really is all about the outlook that the media, that the people put on you could say black fathers, black men, you know, adults, single fathers, whatever, because we left our house as 5 black men, and we left our houses as 5 fathers. That's how we left our house. We didn't leave our house as a gang, as a unit, as a security firm, as anything. We left our houses as 5 black men worried about our children. So every children, no matter what color, out there, who was threatened by the football terrorist hooligans, yes, and by the police who decided and allowed them to travel from across England to come to central London to come to have a fight with a peaceful march. So that's what we did. We left our house for change, because that can't happen. And when I was there, when the police lady ran into the lamppost, the lamppost, and fell off the horse, I was there. I was watching it, and I was standing there with my bike, and the police rushed young children, men, well, boys and girls. There's a lot of young girls out there, all races. It doesn't matter what color, all races. And the police went out there heavy-handed and roughed them up. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get people out there. But we want to change literally the way the British system do education, because regarding the black race only started from slavery, and we all know that's not true. But some people think that's true. So that's one thing that needs to be changed. Employment, fairness in employment. We all know, and well, all us five here anyway, know that we've been in employment, we've been in positions where we should have got that role, but because of the systemic racism in certain companies, businesses, we don't get that choice. So we have a long list of things that we want to change and be fair. It's just like getting pulled over by the police officer. Why are you pulling me over? Oh, I think you're selling drugs. Not because your license has run out, not because you've got no insurance. It's always drugs or weapons or something negative. So we just want the fair scope across everything.
Well, we're really pleased to give you this platform to talk about it, and I'm excited to see
even through MMA, it's the same thing. Even through MMA, I've been in mixed martial arts for over 15 to 20 years. Yeah. And it's in that as well. I can even go deep on that. But I'm just letting you know.
Wow. Well, I wanted to talk about your martial arts background, because obviously this is usually an MMA focused show, and I know that you guys all train, and obviously Jermaine, I know you from your UC MMA days. So you're a well-known face.
That's when MMA was MMA. Now it's just it's a pop show now.
So I wanted to ask you about your backgrounds in martial arts. Pierre, you said that you've got your own school. Jermaine, obviously, you're big on the UK MMA scene. But I know you all train.
Yeah. Go on, P. You start. Go on.
Go on, P.
Well, I mean, for me, I've been started doing boxing. Well, I started doing karate when I was young. My uncle got me into it from the age, I think, about 6, and that was when I was in Cameroon. So I've been from doing it from a long time. When we moved over here, my dad worked for the Cameroon embassy. He got transferred of diplomat. But the sad thing, it was sad for me. I lost my dad at a young age, at 10, 11. So I kind of lost it. So I tried to but the good thing, the sports tried to drag me back into it by doing boxing. So I was doing a bit of boxing for a little while, but because not having no role model, I didn't have no uncles, no big brother. I was following friends, just like all of us here, just following the bad paths and the madness. Instead of going to a boxing gym and focus on going to the amateur fights, I'll do my boxing training back on the street and just do stupidness. I didn't have no one to keep me on that path. So boxing, guys, that is my main martial art. But then as I got a bit older, what saved me is wrestling and jiu-jitsu. And since then, I've, from the age of what I think about for a good 15, 20 years now, I've been doing that, and that's it. So.
And where is your martial arts school? Give that a shout out.
Yeah, it's based in Norbury, in Nupfield Health. It's called Motola Academy. So just anyone wants to come down there. I mean, I've got some tough guys there. I've got Alex Loho. Obviously, you know about Jermaine. He comes down in and he trains with us. You got Jimmy Manuel as well from down there. There's a list of guys. Daniel Crawford used to train down there. So listen, Jermaine and them, they guys know, they know. Even though I never got to compete, but trust me, we can look after ourselves where we come from. But the good thing about it, we managed to put it into a positive, into a gym, into a martial art, and training kids and keeping them disciplined and focused. And that's it really.
And Lee, where do you do your training?
I trained on MMA Den. We're based in Battersea. The head coach Victor Espinoza, I think I started down there 2013. Started off with boxing. I think I went down there first. I just want to get fit, and then just kind of just enjoyed it. Started with boxing.
Sucks you in, doesn't it?
Yeah, they sucked me in. Then I looked at the timetable. I did K1 classes, and then got into jiu-jitsu as well, and then started doing a few shows, and yeah, and then it's a good gym. Got some good fighters. We've got ranked #1 in the UK, Solomon Fur. I think like 65 kilos, 67 kilos. Like, yeah, he's really good. He's really hot. So we've got some good fighters down there. It's good vibes, good energy, and it's just, yeah, I just love it, So I just keep training. I'm 37, feel like I'm 27. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I actually met Chris. When did I meet Chris? I think I met Chris 2014. We done Red Dragons gym down in Flaxton, sparring down there, and yeah, down Flaxton. Remember? Yeah, kicked his ass. Yeah, it was good. It was cool. and I've seen Jermaine. Obviously, I've seen Jermaine. Jermaine probably about 10 years. For about 10 years. So I've seen Jermaine about as well. It's mad how we all. I've seen videos of Pierre in his gym on my friend DL's page. So I've always seen everybody in the scene. And when Chris phoned me on the day or the day before the protest, it's like I've heard of Pierre. Obviously Jermaine, knew Jermaine was going. I knew Jermaine and Chris. I met Patrick on the day, but we all had the same energy going down there, and I knew that we just all had each other's back, and it was all interlinked, It was meant to be. Even down looking back at all of the photos and just the whole story, because we was all trying to go down there, and everybody was trying to persuade us not to go, but we was all adamant we're going down there, to oversee and make sure everything's okay. So it's a good thing that martial arts did bring us together and make this iconic moment on that photo and saving that guy.
Yeah, there is a lovely camaraderie between you all. It's really nice to see. That's why I was surprised that some of you met on the day, because it's like you've been friends for years, all of you.
It feels like that as well. It really does feel like that. Like we just the banter and and the talking. It feels like you've got my brothers. I've known you for years.
See, just tell the truth, man. The Bushman power, man. You know that already. Chris.
And the photo of the five of you together, you look like a man band.
Yeah. And the best part, because that photo was before the incident. You know what I'm saying? I remember that was on the bridge. That photo was before the incident. So
yeah.
Which photo are you talking about, first of all?
Yeah, which one?
The one that you put on the WhatsApp group.
Oh no.
Oh, that's
on
the
the
Men's
poster,
Health magazine. That's Men's Health magazine.
No, so that was after.
Right.
Oh, that's the Men's Health one. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have to show me the other one. So Pat
I'll let you know.
And Chris, how did you guys get into martial arts?
I'll let Chris go first because he hasn't said anything yet. Go on, Chris. Go on.
We got you back.
It isn't it? I'm normally the one that talks the most, isn't it, Pat? My brothers, I have to actually thank somebody for getting martial arts in the first place. One of my brothers, Chick Terry, from Team Dragon, which is where I met Lee. I know Facey trains with Judy and their guys as well, and Bush does his numbers with them. But for years, he'd been talking to me about doing martial arts, and I just wasn't interested. I was more, I shouldn't say because my lady's opposite me, but more of a Gaddis kind of guy. And
big up Chicks, big up.
Yeah, Chick, big up, big time.
Yeah, true.
He got me into a bit of Muay Thai, kickboxing, Flaxman, Team Red Dragon, introduced me to Julian and their team down there, Marcus, a few of them as well. Then, because I'm from the sort of Croydon area, I joined up with, once I'd stopped gymming, I joined up with Lions Pride, Jimmy's place just before it closed. A couple of great guys down there, Mo, a few of the guys down there as well. Then once, unfortunately, when Lions Pride closed down due to my home ground, London, in London to train in. Around Colin Ludwike, not Dwike, he's going to kill me for not saying his name right, and Christine Navaldi, and this coach, this guy, MMA, BJJ, and himself goes there as well.
Shout out to Colin and Christian as well at New Wave Academy. Great guys, we've had them on before as well. Patrick, how about yourself?
Sorry about that,
what
Katie.
was your martial arts journey? That's cool.
Yeah, so Katie, yeah, so I started off with Taekwondo when I was in my teens, early teens. Did that for a while. My first coach was a friend of mine at school, actually. He used to teach me kicks in school. And then I realized I was quite flexible, quite good at it. So then I went and joined the Taekwondo club. So I did that for a bit, got to about blue belt. Then I gave that up. Then I started doing Thai boxing. I started doing that with the old original Vipers crew from Brixton. I don't know if you know about Brixton Vipers. Shout out to Lincoln Boney, instructor, and all the guys like Andre and Julian Howell. And I know Jermaine knows Julian. I used to train with those guys for a bit. Trevor as well. Yeah, they had a lot of European champions back then and world champions. So that's where I got my Thai boxing initiation. And then from there, I started traveling. I discovered Thailand, like you do when you're a Thai boxer. And then I started traveling to Thailand like 4 times a year.
Wow.
Look at Jermaine's face. About 4 times a year. So I've been to Thailand about over 20, 25 times, trained at various gyms over there, like Pattaya, Fairtex Gym. And I've got numerous friends and coaches in Thailand. So that's where I've done most of my Thai boxing. Never competed because I was always working up in the city at the time. So I couldn't take it on full time. And I thought, you know, as a part-time person, I didn't want to be fighting guys that are training full time.
Yeah.
And end up going to work in the city as an investment banker with black eyes and stuff. I thought it probably weren't the look, you know. So I just kept it to sparring and training. But it was a good grounding. And then, you know, I knew Pierre back in the day when we were youngsters from Battersea, Clapham Junction and that. We got back in contact, you know, later on. And then I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Pierre introduced me to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I used to go to the gym where his school is and just go there and push weights all the time and have a look at the guys rolling around on the mat thinking, what are you guys doing? Like, you know, this is some joke thing, you know what I mean? So one day I thought I'd go in there with my muscle-bound self at the time and I got distressed. I never ever forgot that day that I went in there and I realized I got humbled, man. I thought, right, I'm going to stick to this because I don't want to feel like this out on the street. So I stayed and kept doing it, and I've been training with Pierre doing jiu-jitsu ever since. I did a bit of boxing as well back in the day as well. So yeah, I've gone full circle.
I think that's the best thing about jiu-jitsu. Like, it doesn't matter how big you are or how big time you are in the real world, how much money you got. Like, as soon as you're on the mats, it's just the person it's really leveling. 100%.
And I would advise anybody that out there that trains and thinks they're fit or strong or whatever to try Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, man. Just try it. Or wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, try any of those grappling sports and see how your cardio and your strength, see how it manages there, because that really shows you, you know, what you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Talking of getting people into jiu-jitsu or martial arts, I wanted to ask you how important you think it is for kids and young people to get involved in martial arts.
Yeah, it's extremely important. I think it's probably one of the
all of our children. Things. I think all of our children train as well.
Do they?
What Pat was saying, one of the most all of our children train, if not all. My kids, once again, they're new wave kids as well. So having an amazing coach, an amazing leader, it builds up so many principles, like from discipline to respect, so many transferable skills that they can take and use in schools, in society, and just setting a good example, as well as self-defense. It's so many valuable skills. And once again, we're blessed. Another guy, we're so to have so many leaders around us as well. from Jay himself, Pierre. I've got people like I've mentioned, Colin and Christian. There's Ed Brown, quite a few, like some of my great trainers. I've got Leon Nagel. There's quite a lot of really renowned people in the game who can really help you from grassroots up to competing level, which is where a lot of us guys are now as well. But it's really, I would say anybody who doesn't take their kids or who doesn't take themselves or who doesn't train, it's men, women, children, it's open to everyone. It is like definitely look into it, and there's such a diverse range of skills to go into, from BJJ to kickboxing, Muay Thai, boxing. There's so much yoga. People will laugh at it, but I would consider that one of the hardest disciplines that I have to do when I'm doing my yoga. But there's such a mixed variety.
Yeah. Well, I started training in my mid-30s as like an overweight woman. I'm never going to set the world alight. It's taken me years to get my blue belt in jiu-jitsu, but for me, still the benefits are just like astonishing. And I've trained with like guys that are like in their 70s that are still rolling and like staying active. Like, for anyone who thinks there's a barrier to entry because you're too unfit or too old or too overweight or anything, like, I mean, obviously I think the younger the better you get into it, because you'll probably never fall out of love with it and you'll be there for life, but it's never too late.
Yeah. I think it's really good. I think it's really good for kids. Like my son's been doing it since he's 11 now, but he started like 4.5, 5, that same at MMA then, and he's gone through all the emotions. Like he's won, he's lost, he's drawn, and like I've always, when he's lost, he's got really emotional, and I've told him, listen, it's okay to lose, you know, but it's how you come back from your loss, how you come back from it, you know. And that's the same as life, innit? You don't just, if you lose something or fail at something, you don't just give up, you know what I mean? You get up and then you push harder and you go again. So teaching that from young, you know, and it's the same as when you go into adults. So I think it's really good for kids, trust me.
I wish I'd started when I was that age as well.
Yeah, he's a little ninja. My son's a little ninja. I've got him he's doing blue belt taekwondo, and he's been doing jiu-jitsu since he was 5. He first started off with Muay Thai. He's done Muay Thai, and he obviously does K1 bouts as well. And he's not a bully. He's really chilled. He's really relaxed, and he's a good kid. He's a good kid, and I'm happy that he's had loads of interclubs, and he's done ISKA out in World Championship when he went out to Greece to fight for England. Like, he's a really good kid, man, and I'm so happy that I got him into it from so young, you know.
Oh, these are the kids that make me really excited for the future of the sport as well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm that's why I got involved as well. I got 3 sons, and there definitely was no way they're gonna go through what I went through. So you know, everything's like a blessing. You know, I worked for Nutfield. I've been working there as I started as a PT from age, I think, 24, and I've been there since. I mean, obviously now I run my own security firm, but because of the relationship I've had with the gym and the members, the staff, they were able to offer me a dojo space, which I was able, because they know what I'm about. And now I'm giving back to the community. I'm training the kids, and I'm loving it. Some of them, to be honest, none of my kids, I don't even think any of my kids have lost. I got to boast a little bit. Every time we go to competition, every single one of my boys, no, seriously, they win. The girls as well, they win. But they love it. It's fun, you know. And for me, it gives me new life every time. Like, I'll go to work, I can't wait to go back to train. Or even if there's another guy, Reese, who coaches them, just for me to just sit there and just watch him, you know, giving them techniques, and they're learning, they're improving. I leave the dojo feeling born again. You know, my sons, they play rugby through jiu-jitsu. They're playing rugby is beautiful. So for me, it's like this is what we're all about. So that's why we just have to look after the youth. Our mission is to make sure that those kids do not do the same madness we did when we're young. And I'm screaming to my generation, wake up, listen, what are you doing? Fix up, you know, stop pretending. grab your children, wake them up, you know, make sure that they're doing the right thing. All of us are doing it, and we're making sure that we're putting them into clubs, something after school club, making sure that, listen, you know, we're doing 2-3 jobs, and then making sure we go and pick them up, or, you know, they're doing things. So not give them no excuse for them to be going out there and doing madness, or find themselves in a situation that madness happens to them. I don't want my son to go through what I went through. Listen, listen, only God was able to get me out of the madness. I was in darkness, yeah, and I was able to come out. So I am doing my best, and not just my son, Lee's son, Patrick's son, Chris, your child. I'm gonna make sure that I'll give them the best I can to make sure that they stay on the right path. That's my job, and so far so good, and I'm grateful for that.
I love that. I love that. There's not enough positive voices in the world at the moment, so it is really important to put that out there. Peter, have we got any comments?
I was going to say, Katie, sorry, I was going to say one thing. That the one thing I love about jiu-jitsu is that not like all schools, you can do open, you know what open mats are, right? When you go to other schools and you train and stuff with other people, you know. Some other martial arts, that's a bit scoffed at, going to other schools and training. But in jiu-jitsu, you know, you can have a family with different schools and go and do open mats and stuff. And one of the schools connected with Pierre's school, because where Pierre originally learned from was New School in Battersea, New School Jiu-Jitsu. And it's run by Anthony Shatala and Nicky Robinson.
Yeah.
And I've learned some of the best stuff from guys like Reese Bailey. I don't know if you know who Reese is, but he's you know, he's big on the jiu-jitsu circuit. I've learned some really good stuff from him. And one of my long-time training partners is Jules Francis as well. You know, these guys, and you've got a guy down there, one of the black belts called Tom, and you got Owen as well. These guys are dangerous. All like, these are serious guys. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to give them all a mention, because without their input, as well as Pierre's input, you know, my jiu-jitsu wouldn't be where it is today. You know, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Give them a little shout out.
Yeah, definitely.
No, New School in Battersea, man.
Yeah, everybody who's
New
out
Wave
there doing
Academy.
good stuff,
Sorry,
shout
guys.
out.
Sharpie BJJ.
There's
Sharpie BJJ for me as well. There's so many. Ed 360,
You know
the other
you're
guy.
gonna miss someone and
there's
be
a
in
lot.
trouble.
There's a lot of guys
Wayne
that I've
Jones.
trained. There's a lot of guys I've trained with. You know, New Waves. You see with me, these guys will tell you I'm a free spirit. I go to New Waves. Big up to Colin and Chris and all of them at New Waves. I go to Mandela. That's my blood brother, Mandela Bini. Yeah, the original black belt. Yeah, New School, as Patrick said, that's where I started my jiu-jitsu, and my son started there. So for me, I'm a free spirit when it comes to jiu-jitsu in my area. They're like my brothers, and I think I'm older than a lot of them anyway. So they've got a lot of respect for me. So it's a beautiful thing. New Wave, Mandela, New School. Definitely. We're all family. Ed Brown and 360, we're all family. To me, we're all family. So it's just a name.
Yeah, the jiu-jitsu community as a whole is just very welcoming. Like, Peter's bored of me saying it, but like, whenever I go on business trips to the States, wherever I'm going, somewhere new every time, I'll just look up a jiu-jitsu school there. I'll email them and say, is it okay for me to come along? There's nobody who's ever said no. They're always like, come down. Half the time they let you do it for free. And, you know, it's very welcoming.
Yeah. But where do you train at?
It's just a tournament service.
So I train at BKK for MMA, and then I train at Fight City Gym with Alan Pozzo.
Okay. That's
nice.
We've got a couple of good comments and some questions here as well.
Yeah, go on, Peter.
Pauline says yoga is great, which I agree with. I know a lot of fighters who use yoga for flexibility. Kerry says, I just got back into jiu-jitsu. I was told I would never be able to from some injuries. Now I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. I was convinced I'd never be able to be in this shape again, nonetheless be able to train again. So the two questions. First off, we've got Pauline. What would you recommend for self-defense, particularly for women, guys?
Jiu-jitsu. Easy, jiu-jitsu.
I'd say jiu-jitsu. Judo is very good as well. I like judo.
It's completely silly. Come on. Jiu-jitsu is the second. You need to do striking, then maybe.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Come on,
Kickboxing.
were you gonna grab and hold guard?
This is what I would bring.
I would say,
I would say
judo.
He's trying to do our role,
And I would say judo as well.
This is why we're so unique. This is why we're such an amazing team, because we all have such different opinions.
Yeah, but this is an argument for the ages, though. I mean, no one agrees on this anyway. So this is typical of martial arts, you know.
Yeah.
It's like asking
everybody has a different opinion.
Stand and bang, stand and bang, stand and bang. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Stand and bang.
Yeah, you would encourage a woman to stand
down,
and bang
what's
with
going
a man,
on?
yeah.
Stand and bang. Yeah.
Nah, but on a serious,
I like judo. Grab him and throw him over your shoulder and run.
Judo's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Example.
Oh,
You guys are nuts.
So I've got a feeling.
They're crazy,
You
isn't
guys
it?
are crazy. Why would you
Stand
wanna
and
do
bang. Yeah.
I've got a feeling you're all going to agree in the answer for this question. So it's a question from James Hamilton. Do you feel more people would learn to be more tolerant and accepted of people from different cultures if they got involved in martial arts?
Say that again,
I think
please.
so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I would agree to. I
What
would
was
say
the question?
definitely.
Sorry, say again.
Sorry, do you feel more people
didn't
will
hear it.
learn to be more
Peter for
tolerant
Jake.
and accepted of people from different cultures if they got involved in martial arts?
I think I got the last bit because Chris jumped in. But regarding martial arts, literally the door's open for any culture. No one even looks at color when it comes to martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, literally in most gyms, in my gym, that when I was running Bandug's MMA, you know, we left politics, religion, and anything about your missus outside the door. Other than that, you know, we don't, never that.
I think we might have lost Katie there. Right, so I've got a question for you as well. This is known as the greatest question in the world. Katie usually steals this. So I don't know why she's not asked it yet, but if you guys could change one rule in MMA, what would you change?
Time limit. Time limit. There shouldn't be no time limits. You don't have a scrap on the street and go, hold on, I got a minute's break. Ridiculous.
Exactly.
I think it's cheating.
If you don't have time limits, you'd have less dodgy judges as well. If you had one 15-minute fight without round, it's a good chance that fight's going to end.
That's it. It's one time, and whatever happens, man. Not all this time limit, stopping. No, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever. No time limits like this. No round.
Gypsy style.
Old school.
Scrap.
Anybody else got a different rule?
No, I actually agree with Jermaine there. Not often do I agree with him, but I agree with him on that one.
Yeah, whatever, mate.
Any more from you, Peter?
That's all the comments, but I just want to go back to Patrick and earlier on about the guy you saved. Has he ever said thank you? Has he ever been in touch?
I mean, I haven't spoken to him directly. I've heard rumours that he's grateful that I saved his life, or that we saved his life, shall I say? But yeah, I mean, no, I haven't had no direct communication with him or contact with him. No.
Also, Boris Johnson said your actions represent the best of us. Have you got a message for Boris Johnson, what the government could do to help as well?
Yeah, well,
pick up the blower as well.
How long have you got? How long have you got? You know, we just need Boris to stop doing all these reviews and you know, and actually get some stuff done. You know, no more reviews, Boris. Let's get around the table and let's tell you exactly what needs to be done and let's get it done. No more reviews. Anybody else? What would you do if you were the Prime Minister?
Just say that.
Well, it shouldn't take five. It shouldn't take 5 dads to go and do policing. You understand? And not only that, listen, we weren't just policing the kids. I'm telling you now. Listen, I got, you know, I respect what the police are trying to do as well. Do you understand? And I feel for them because it's a difficult job. So that's why, you know, we done what we did. We went out there. You know, we were actually, one point, it was myself, Chris was me, man. I think Pat and Jermaine was sorting another problem happening out there, and then the policeman was struggling to get hold of was in a situation, and we stepped in. We saved the youth, And then the police were so happy we done that, because it's like he didn't know what to do. He was, oh, thank you, I'm glad you guys are here. Now, I don't understand, you know, what kind of trade, what's going on? Something needs to be put in place. So Mr. Johnson he really needs to step it up, and I don't, you know, something.
What needs to happen? Simple things. What a lot of people tried to do through many of the years is to put back martial arts into the schools curriculum.
Yeah.
Because
like in America with the rest of them.
Yeah.
Because most countries we shouldn't not use America as an example, because come on, mate, they go around shooting churches up and stuff. So
Russia as well, though. Russia.
Yeah. But
They got judo, wrestling, as you know.
We know martial arts bring discipline no matter what, and that's what we carried when we all went out there on that day. Is discipline, and if we did lose our cool and we got upset because someone called you the N-word or someone said something silly, what can't really hurt you, we would have lost our discipline, lost our cool, and literally did something different. You know, so discipline brings good behavior, and this is what Boris needs to actually put back into play, put money back into the communities, into the schools that they took out in the first place. Because when I was at school, they introduced jiu-jitsu. I didn't know what it was. I had a woman teacher, and I didn't know what it was, and I did it for about 6 months, and then I just went back to football and playing around. But then as I got older, I have flashbacks that I remember doing certain things. So literally, these things was implemented in the schools, and it needs to be in there.
These physical sports like martial arts, they give you an outlet to release your frustrations and your anger. So once you go and hit a pad and hit bags and wrestle with each other and choke someone in a gym in a controlled environment, you don't need to prove anything outside on the street.
You don't.
You have
100%.
Yeah.
You know, nothing to prove.
Do you think the police should learn jiu-jitsu as well?
A lot
Yeah,
of them
they
need
should.
to learn. Well, yeah, because they don't. Yeah, because a lot of them they choke people in the wrong manner, in the wrong way, and they end up killing them. So yes, definitely. And I've got a couple of police officers who are my clients, and I've asked them, what have you learned? And they're showing me some unbelievable stupid stuff, some stupid stuff. And I've got one lady police officer and one dude. I'm like, is this what you got? Is this what you guys learn? It's ridiculous. It's like 12 weeks training to be a police officer in the UK or something like that, and then 4 years in Canada. And how can you be a police officer? So you can be a doctor. Takes you 4 years, and a police officer takes you 12 weeks. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
And that's a serious job.
Exactly.
It's not a joke.
Yeah.
It's not
Especially
a joke.
when they're actually to be protecting the lives that are supposed to be serving the country. It's like you say, a doctor needs to go through so much training before you can go and perform. As a police officer, the same responsibility is there as well. You've got youth, you've got public, you've got society basically at your hands, and you're completely unequipped to manage that. Not every I'm not sure there are a lot of good officers out there with good hearts. Unfortunately, there's more bad than good, and unfortunately, that's also the reflection the police force get. But as you guys said, there's a lot more that needs to go into reforming and re-educating, not only down to the martial arts and physical side, but also down to the
social side. He's trying to say
that kind of career for the right reasons. Really look to try and help community rather than somebody who's been bullied in school and I wanted to find to sort of take that out, which unfortunately
you need to pay for some better Wi-Fi.
A lot of us here having unfortunate victims. Why again?
You know.
I need to.
Can I say something, please?
Yeah.
What for me? I always say this to my friends. Yeah, I've said it to myself so many times. I kept on saying it until thank God I could see it's happening.
What's that? That you want to look like me?
No. I'm still working on that, Jermaine. So I'm working on that. You know what I mean? But yeah, no. For me, it's home. because my mom and my dad, yeah, I didn't come from a road mentality or whatever. I chose to go on road. I chose to be rebellious because of what happened to, you know, losing my dad at a young age. My dad and my mom brought me up with morals, principle, respect, you know, proper. I had that. And when I was on road doing whatever nonsense I was doing, something always played in the back of my head. Pierre, this is not you. You've got to go back. You've got to. And I always said, yes, I will do that. I will do that. So this, if I had, this has been with me, and that's what saved me a lot of the times. Yeah, that's what saved me. That's why I'm here today doing what I want to do. So for me, I'm doing the same thing my dad and my mom did to my boys. Yeah. And so if, you know, God forbid I die, whatever, they should get that. Once they get into madness and start doing something, should be banging on the head. Listen, what are you doing? Get back home, fix up. No matter how long it's going to take them, they should be able to do that. So home, fix up, home is very important because that's what saved me. And Patrick is the only person out of all of them that known me, and I got into so much darkness that it's only the discipline that my mom and my dad gave me, I was able to get out of there. So, you know, let's not all be just putting everything on the police and all of anyone else. Sort out home. What are you doing? How are you talking to your kids? What are you feeding your children? How you discipline them? You know, all of those things. You know, easy for everyone to say, oh, I'm blaming that policeman over there. I'm blaming Boris Johnson. I'm blaming, but no, what about yourself? What are you doing? How are you conducting yourself? So home, that's all I'm going to say. And that's why I got my into school.
It's all part of the part. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, that's number one. And then when home is all good, then you can start talking about the other people, the police and the government. Let's sort out our homes. Let's look at our you know, the people next to him, my uncle and his children. How is he looking? If he needs a hand, go and check him. Your friend, how is he looking after his child? Is he doing the right thing? Talk to him now. So this is what we're meant to be doing. And then we start branching out to other people. Then, so that's for me anyway. That's what I'm saying. Oh, you know.
I like that.
Got another comment from Kerry.
Sorry, I'm big-headed. My son's a role model.
Next question.
My 21-year-old son. I've got a 21-year-old son. He's in his second year in university, grade A. I'm proud to tell you, grade A student in economics. Yeah, I've got my son Piero here as well. He's sixth form, doing excellent, top player rugby. I've got my next son Pascal doing exactly the same. So, sorry, that's where it comes from. You need to start from home. So I could step out there, my chest high, and say, "What are you talking about? Fix up your house before you even open your mouth and criticize anyone else." That's the main thing. That's it. You know, we're all doing that. Everything. Lee's doing that. Jermaine's doing that. Chris is doing that. Patrick is doing that. So, you know, everyone else needs to do the same. You know.
Yeah.
Simple. Next question.
No, there was a comment from Kerry saying dialogue is so important. That is when people learn. This conversation should open a lot of people's eyes. You can teach people a lot this way. Great job helping people to be able to protest and do it peacefully. I've got another question as well. So when George Floyd got murdered, I've started posting a lot of Black Lives Matter posts and stuff like that. And I keep getting the same kind of comments. White lives matter. All lives matter.
Let me answer that.
Before,
Go on, Jay.
But what these people think, they think when you say Black Lives Matter, white lives don't matter, which is totally wrong. So what would you say to these people?
What I would say, Jermaine, what Jermaine Facey would say is, so when you've got the public and the community and the media shouting out black and black crime is this, black and black crime is this, and all that stuff, I'm going to say, where's your energy with white and white crime? Yeah? You've got this energy saying, what about white lives matter? So what about white life? What about white and white crime? You can't have it both ways, you know. And no one has ever said white life doesn't matter. Any other life doesn't matter. No one said that. No one ever said that. But for when you, as a human effing being, know right from wrong. Right, so you see a police officer, no matter what color the police officer is, and see a guy being handcuffed not resisting, no matter what color he is, and he gets murdered live on social media, and you can't see the right and wrong in that? If you can't see the right and wrong in that, we can't discuss nothing there. Because someone in your own household or another white person needs to tell you, because I can't tell you as a black guy, because you're not going to listen. Because if you just can't see the right, I bet you if that was a dog, they would have went crazy. I bet you if that was an animal, they would have went crazy. They're all on the internet crying that the little kids were throwing the horse at the police officers, throwing a boy's bike at a police officer, right? But before that, the police officers rushed the kids with the horse. So they're too busy worried about, to me, but they probably eat burgers and stuff like that anyway. So it doesn't make, your balance of mindset does not make sense. People's life comes before animals, no matter what. And everyone knows right from wrong. So when the White Lives Matter guy or girl wants to keep on crying about what about White Lives Matter, I will ask them, what about white and white crime? Can you still have that same energy, please? Thank you. That's it.
Same with the ones that were protecting the statues. When George Floyd got murdered, they didn't do fuck all, but they'd go and protect the fucking statue.
Exactly.
Horrible.
You know, and I'd also add to what Jermaine said, and I'd say that I think we proved that white lives do matter. So I don't think there's even an argument there. That's just like,
yeah.
That was before we.
Yeah, one of the things is though, just to clear up though, even like for the guys, one thing that we say in every interview, that one thing that we need to be clear on, we're not Black Lives Matter. We obviously understand what the battle started for, but we didn't go out there as Black Lives Matter protesters. I know a few news stations, a few news reports have actually put their headlines as BLM supporters, a terrorist, whatever the guy is. But we're actually Black Lives Matter. We're a band of brothers, we're fathers who went out there to oversee our community, the kids in our community, to make sure that no harm comes to them and they don't bring any harm to themselves. It was supposed to be a peaceful protest, and we wanted to try our best to keep it that way for just any that weren't equipped to sort of protect themselves or do the right thing or get caught up in the moment, which does happen. Jay was there the day before when everybody heard a story about the police horse that ran into the traffic light. The police horse, police woman fell off, and that police horse stormed a crowd of some of the protesters. Jay actually witnessed that, and that's what struck that's what struck alarm into us, into Jay at least, who straight away was like, we need to sort of go up there to protect. So it's not a Black Lives Matter, declare that it is protect and oversee our community and kids, that basically create a world better than the world, leave the world better than we.
Chris, I think you're lying so bad. I think you should keep quiet
for the future generations.
Yeah. Chris, you're talking. Chris, you're like a Dalek, so be quiet. What he was saying.
That was an important message, guy.
He was. No, what he was saying. We don't represent Black Lives Matter. We didn't go out there representing nothing. We went out there representing 5 fathers, 5 brothers walking out there. That's all we was.
Yeah, to protect the movement, the protest.
The media, in some of our interviews, because this happened, we didn't go out there looking any fame or fortune or nothing like that. It just happened. So once, literally, the next couple of days, it was like interview, back. Us 5 had no chance to sit down as a collective to say, yo, what really happened? So. And then they started putting our names down as if we represented Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. So they didn't represent us correctly in the beginning. So no, we understand the movement. It is what it is. But we walked out of there as 5 fathers thinking about that could be our kid out there.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to get you on telling it in your own words and, you know, making points like that and differentiating yourselves. But that is really important. And I love that you are just 5 now friends and fathers that just wanted to do something positive. I think it's just such an amazing. The photo by itself is iconic and means something, but the fact that you're using this platform to try and create further positive change is really important. But what has it been like? Like you said, you didn't go out there looking to be interviewed by a million outlets within a week. So what has it been like suddenly being thrust into the limelight?
That trick.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for me, I'm the one that was caught on camera. And anything that these guys have gone through, for me, you can times it by 20, I think.
I think is this a YouTube video going about at the moment saying this was all staged and this was all fake? I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's a heap of bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no evidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
I ain't seen that. You seen it?
We'll put the link in WhatsApp later, right?
Really, send it over, please.
Yeah, I was a Fed, and I worked for the police, and I worked for the British National Park, all sorts of nonsense. Some of these people ain't got nothing better to do, you know. These keyboard warriors, that's what they can. That's what they can do. Talk nonsense behind the keyboard.
About everything, so I'd be more offended if they didn't have a conspiracy theory about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I saw one description.
You can't lose sleep over that sort of stuff.
No, but it must be crazy.
I saw one description saying that Piers was 6 foot tall. Oh, he didn't hear me. He didn't hear me. Oh, come on, man. Come on. The joke.
He didn't hear you. I
didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. Don't worry.
What's that?
It's true.
Nothing, mate.
You just find it funny.
It's too late now.
Jermaine trying to be funny again.
Oh, you missed it.
But is it weird to be famous overnight?
Yeah, very.
I was already famous.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm that nothing surprises me with what's happening. It's like, and you know, this seriously, I'm not moved by all of this.
Nah.
It's because, you know, ask Jermaine. Seriously, me personally, I'm not moved by all of this because where I come from, it's nothing, you know. This got to be done. Hopefully, everyone else is waking up. Yeah. Is waking up because I felt the energy of this madness happening. So there was a reason, and this is the reason why. That's why for me it's like, right, Pierre, my ancestors really are speaking to you because you knew something mad was going to happen. You understand? And before, back in the days, why I used to get in trouble when they used to speak to me, I never used to listen. So nowadays I listen, and so I made that move. I made the correct move with my 5 brothers, and we went out there and we done. So to be honest, I'm not surprised.
The thing about it, right? In life, we've done even probably better things than what happened the other night. We're kind of community people anyway.
Yeah.
You know, because I had my gym in London Bridge running Bandogs MMA. We brought kids coming, after school kids coming and training, learning MMA for free. I started a company called Hands Up Guns Down, a charity, Hands Up Guns Down, where we take kids off the street and men and women off the street and introduce them to martial arts. We've done this just for, we've always done this through love and just the passion of sport, passion of martial arts, just because it's just natural to us. It wasn't something that we're looking to be millionaires on. We just did it just for the love of it. And this listen,
Jermaine,
what?
No, what I'm saying, I'm just saying that. Look, the work that me and you've done from even last year, working for looking after one of the top firms in London, agency, who were, you know, they needed security. We went in there and we made sure that they were fine. Jermaine was involved in that. So for me, there's nothing new having to go and save a life, and this is part of my job. We do that. Do you understand? So
yeah,
it's nothing new.
Pauline's commented again. She's saying, I grew up with Pat. He's always been this way, always putting others before himself. The best big brother.
He's not that big though.
Thank you.
So, Peter, have we got any more comments or questions or anything else that you wanted to? Was there anything else you wanted to ask the guys?
Yeah, the guys thought, are we moving in the right direction? Because I remember 2-3 years ago, remember that American football player that used to take the knee for the national anthem, and he's never played football since.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, Donald Trump went for him. And now, if you look at the biggest sport in the world, the most watched league in the world, the Premier League, before every single game, every single player's taking a knee. I think we've came a long way and we're heading in the right direction. You guys agree?
No,
Yeah,
not at
hope
all. I don't.
so.
I don't, because the bottom line is you can take the knee as many times as you like. You can put your fist in the air as many times as you like. You just look at across the board of the CEOs in all the football leagues, managers in all the football leagues. Where's the black guys? There's none.
Yeah,
So
there's two managers in 92
Yeah.
league teams.
yeah, so they can put the knee and do all the campaigns. To me, is just wishy-washy. Bottom line, how can a man like John Barnes not be a manager? How can a man like Ian Wright not be a manager? How a man like Sol Campbell not be a manager? How a man like Ince not be a manager? You know, you got they
can be managers, but they want them to start at the grassroots. They
of course,
thank you. They can't, you know, get one of the big clubs. You know.
Yeah, of course not.
That speaks for itself.
You know, you could.
Do you agree with the Rooney Rule? They're bringing in the Rooney Rule, so every club, even
you shouldn't have to do that. It's common sense. You should learn from your cousin, learn from your sister, learn from your brother. So England should learn from the rubbish that America has been doing, and then not allow that to happen. But because all the systems are systematically racist anyway, we're just going to have to go through it. And that's the bottom line. And the worst thing about it, some people are just too scared to admit it. And that's what it is.
Too worried.
They're just too scared to admit, the system is racist. In sport, the system is racist. In mixed martial arts, the system is racist.
So how do we break the system then? How do we break it?
How do we break it? You tell me, brother.
I think that the media, like yourself, you got a lot of work to. You need to get involved.
Because when you're not reporting the realness of what is happening in sports, in life, in the media, you're like everyone's putting this Conor McGregor as if he's some superstar, fantastic person. We all know he's not. No matter what anyone wants to say, just because he's the bee's knees right now, he's not the greatest fighter in the world. He's not the greatest fighter at all. But yet, because MMA, UFC needed that Rocky Marciano type thing, like the white hype, like the white hope. Everyone jumped on Conor. So I can go back from before even Conor went into UFC, how everything changed. Because if you want to talk about before Conor McGregor, I'm just jumping issues, yeah. If you look across all the champions, there was hardly any white champions in UFC. There was hardly any champions in UFC. And then I'm not saying Conor's rubbish, Conor's good. But he got fed to the championship. Do you believe that? Do you think that's true?
They tried a few people. That Sage Northcott. If you're like looking at Sage Northcott, yeah, he weren't all that, but he looked looking at blonde hair, blue eyes, ripped up. You know what I mean? He weren't all that. They tried with him and then they realised he was a flop. Tried it with Nicky Gall. Nicky Gall fought yesterday. Tried it with him. Yeah. He got smashed in by the Jamaican lad. His name. Ronda Rousey. Then she got caught out. If you got that look, do you know what I mean? Because look at for example, Aljamain Sterling. He's good. You know what I mean? But he just doesn't. You know what I mean? He never. Yeah. You know, he should be up there. Do you know what I mean? He's good. Who else?
Did you think John Jones gets treated wrongly then because he's a champion?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, John Jones. You know what? Mighty Mouse.
Absolutely.
Mighty Mouse, prime example. Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, look what they've done to him. Yeah.
Had to go to
Anderson Silva. Just because you couldn't speak English clearly. Yeah. Come on.
All these guys were very talented, and they never got the platform like Conor McGregor. I know Conor McGregor does market himself very well, does sell himself pretty well, but like Demetrius Johnson's skill set alone, should be enough. Should just be.
That's a weird one.
But the other thing is it is to do with money. That's basically what it's to do.
We know this.
So you know, Conor's the draw. He's the draw, and he brings in the money. So that's why they pushed him so much.
No, we know this because
they never got pushed. Mighty Mouse never got pushed.
Mighty Mouse isn't the draw though. It's just what I'm saying. Conor brings how many fans with him? It's all about money. Every
white American wants to be a tough Irishman. So that's why Conor got that that spill, because like everyone in America, they're not real Americans, are they? They're not. Their ancestors are not from America, so they always say, "Oh, my background is Irish or whatever like that." So Conor did good. He represented Europe, and he represented the white guys in America. So that's one of the reasons why Dana saw him as, wow, he's good, and he can talk good, and he represents all of us. He's going to throw everything at him.
And he's got the following, the money.
That's what happens, man. This is what I'm trying to say. MMA is not that clean as well, you know. Just saying. Do I put a Dana on it now?
Reality check, Jay. So reality check. Jay, we had a conversation the other day. We were talking about even jiu-jitsu itself, or any martial arts discipline. As much as we do love it, there are there potential boundaries within our martial arts platforms. Like, I love jiu-jitsu today. I couldn't say a bad word about it. But are there also those boundaries in our disciplines? Is it Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi is dead, bro.
Chris, we said you got to stay quiet, bro. You can't talk.
Get taxis to Patrick House or something.
You're gonna have to sit this one out, bro.
Oh, you start off on a really good.
You need to write something on the screen.
Then he fades away.
Yeah, and then he leaves us all hanging.
To be continued.
Sorry,
any other
Chris.
questions?
No, I wanted to get some final thoughts from you. Just like I want to say thank you to you all for coming on. I want to say thank you for what you did, and also thank you for being that positive voice. And you know, just what you said, Pierre, about like accountability starting at home. Like, obviously, there's a lot that needs to change, and it's really, really nice to speak to people who, you know, are using that moment to really try and make a difference in the world. So we just need more people like you guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting us, you know.
You're welcome back anytime. If you need any kind
thank you.
do this for every guest. If you need any kind of promotion, your gyms, and if anyone's fighting, if you've got any fighters you know need a bit, just let us know. We'll give them an interview.
Well, we're getting Alex Lahore. He's getting ready. I think he's got a fight coming up. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll get Alex on then.
Who's just signed? Where is he just signed for? Is it a new promotion?
It's sorry, that's really bad.
Sorry, I'll put you on the spot.
It's gonna cost me that. Oh no,
my bad. Sorry.
I've got it somewhere.
And I also want to thank Dan Overheady for putting me in touch with you guys to set up this conversation as well. Just
Dan's a good kid. He's a good kid. He's a good egg, Dan.
See, when this all happened, when this story broke in the news, we had no idea you were MMA fighters and stuff like that.
No.
Say again?
When the story broke off and all that, we didn't have a clue that you were in MMA. If it wasn't for Daniel, we probably wouldn't have been doing this. So
you guys don't do your groundwork, man. See, MMA never just started 10 years ago, you know, or 5 years ago. This is the problem with the new age MMA fans. They think MMA just started when Conor McGregor got famous, man. We've been doing this before he got famous. We've been sweating, losing blood before this got famous. Tell you.
Yeah, I found it now. He's going to PFL in France in December.
Okay.
Alex Lahore. Yeah. So definitely I'm gonna bring him on and have a chat with you guys. Definitely.
Fabulous.
Give him some support, my little brother. You know, he wanted to come that day as well. He was ready to come, but
he was scared, bruv. Stop it.
Nah,
Stop it. He was scared. He was. Then he would have turned
stop
up.
Your noise. Stop talking.
Then he would have turned up like everybody else turned up. He was scared.
All right, he wasn't scared. Just stop talking.
Okay. We
We
had all the messages. We get all the messages.
Down anyway.
I would have come. Oh, if you let me know, Jake.
I'll get him down and let
Jermaine's just gassed because Liverpool won the league, so Jermaine's just a bit gassed. Don't worry about it.
Champion. Still drinking.
Oh,
Yeah, so good.
So
But yeah,
who
thank you
who
so
wants
much.
the final word?
Go on,
Well, not
Pat.
Chris,
Pat,
that's
Pat,
for sure.
Not
Pat is,
Chris.
Not
Not Chris.
not Chris.
Chris,
Pat is the
Chris.
man who
Poor Chris.
Pat is the man who we secured to make sure he
I
takes the man out.
say,
So I
give
think
it to
Pat should
Lee.
have the chat. And he's
Hey,
the
Give it
yeah,
to
oldest
where's
one.
Lee.
Lee?
No, Pat is
Lee's
the
not here.
oldest. Let Pat talk.
Yeah.
Go on, Pat. Finish it
Okay,
off, bro.
so all I want to say is to society, okay, let's try and get true equality amongst all of us, okay? Let's try and end, the systemic racism in our society. To our white counterparts, let's try and call out racism when we see it. Let's not just think that because we've got a black friend and because, we're nice to black people and we're okay and we're not racist per se, that's not enough. You've got to call it out where it is. We've all got to stand together, in solidarity, and we've all got to bring the system down, and redistribute the wealth and everything else, and do it fairly. Okay, the education system needs to change, and the police system needs to change, and society itself needs to change. And it starts with the individuals within society. Okay, so let's all work together. Like I said, right, it's not black v white. It's everybody versus a racist. So if you're racist in this society, then there will be no room for you eventually. Okay, that's what I want to say.
Brilliant.
That's a perfect note to end on, I think. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on. Wish you all the best with everything that you've got going on, and thank you again for your time. We really, really appreciate it. Keep doing great things.
Definitely.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'll see you soon with Alex Lahore. Definitely. All right.
Brilliant. Take
See you
care.
guys. Bye-bye. Bye.